Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We do live analysis here Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Then on Wednesday, we have live trading with Monday, Tuesday, J Trader, Stocks Trader, 10 a.m. All are at 10 a.m. And then Scott Pulsini. He was off yesterday, but usually he's there every Thursday at 10 a.m. And live trades takes live trading trades with futures. So let's go over some risk disclosures very quickly here. Understand what you're getting involved with, though. The general disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor trade recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so let's jump in here. Let's look at the S&P E-mini. Let me know if you want to look at something else as well. We can do that. Day and Friday, the hold on a minute here. Let me just get caught up on YouTube. Yeah, that should do it. Okay. Interesting stops and icebergs in here. We saw some really good stuff yesterday. I don't know if you guys were able to go back and review that in replay mode. We talked about that. We saw just a beautiful reversal take place for the entire day there. And we saw massive, well, not massive, but we saw really interesting absorption before a level of high liquidity by icebergs. Hopefully we'll see it again in here, or see something similar, and we'll cover it as well. Anyway, as you can see in here, like from about 7 o'clock onwards, move to the upside into high liquidity up in here, and then that's been it so far. We have not gone above this high here for the for the cash session here. Here's our 9:30 open here. Quick jaunt to the upside, but a quick move down, right back up above the initial swing here after 9:30, and then right back down. So we're all over the place here is what it looks like here. We'll zoom in a little closer and kind of look at the this context of liquidity, limit buy and sell orders, and also this structure from the top to the bottom here. What's the volume like in here? Well, we're getting our answer here. It's very range bound. Okay, there really is no one taking control here. This is something we've been covering a lot good morning, Alan, Alec, and also MC Loco. We covered yesterday how to go through and kind of look at some of these areas, who's in control, and defining that. Right here you can see that no one's really in control. And we don't really have that really kind of clarity here. However, there is something that I would point to here, this kind of interesting area, kind of an under-over area. What do you guys feel like on a smaller time frame? Okay, where do you think you'd look for buyers trying to take control, and it actually failed, and then sellers came back down underneath it? Just curious what you guys think. Okay, Ethan, we'll take a look at NQ. Seems to be in a demand zone, is what you're saying. Sure. God, NQ was, I mean, everything was on fire yesterday. Fantastic day. I know a lot of you guys also hang out in the Discord room with Tom B in his Traders Lab there, and I think they knocked it out of the park, right? So that goes to so that'll be at after this webinar here, so around 11:30 East Coast time. Somewhere between 11:30 and 12, Tom gets started. All right, so after these webinars end, or this webinar ends. All right, so I want to actually show you something here as well. Today we have another event, in fact, let me put it into the YouTube channel right up front here. Yeah, got it. Okay. All right, well, we're streaming right now. So you see this is our webinar here. The one I'm talking about here is a special events. It should be in there now, but we have Doug Pless. He's going to talk about options. This is an Ask Me Anything webinar. It's today. It's at 4:30. So yeah, you guys can hang out in there and wait for it now if you like. But we'll get started at 4:30 East Coast time. Okay, really, Doug has already had a webinar with us, so come and check it out. And very unique way of trading options. It's using a lot of the spot gamma tools in there. He's going to talk a lot about that and how you can gain a pretty nice edge using these tools together with order flow and Bookmap. All right. Anyway, let's go back here, and I posed that question. What do you guys think here? Yeah, spot on. 45.20. That's what I was thinking as well. Right in there. It's just a really interesting area here. Look at the buyers in here, and let's just take the heat map, dim it down here, and you can see the buying pressure in here. Look at the spike. Okay, look at those dots in here. Consistent buying. This is the kind of buying we're looking for. Now, when you see this kind of buying, now these markets are all fractal. When you see this kind of buying starting to come in here, and you can also look at the pressure within here, and you can see that we talked a lot about patterns, many different patterns yesterday. You can even say this is a reverse head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder, another shoulder here. But within here, we see quite a bit of buying in here. Once we start to get up here and you start to see that buying, we'd be looking for them to test the top of the range here and maybe break it and go up to highs for the day. Right? They didn't. This is the under over area here. This are pivot lines that we draw up. We've been doing for years here, and it's right here. Okay, so in fact, let me edit this line because I want to get it back to our original. I think it's 3 and solid. Right. Okay. Anyway, anyway, guys, you get the idea. This is a significant area here for today. See, look at the buying coming in right now. Okay, so we just tested this. Now they're going to try to push above it here. Be careful here. We want to see the buying above it. That's where it matters. This is more of the buying down here to test into it and try to get back above it. Right? And they're not. We don't see them really coming in yet. Okay, we're going to look for them. If buyers can come back up here again, we were looking for this to be like a bull flag. Okay, buyers, consolidation, followed by more buyers and a move to the upside. Okay, we're looking at the volume within the context of the market structure. Here they go. They're going to give it a shot. Okay, I'm not convinced by it. Not convinced by that at all. In fact, this could be a pattern that fails. It has a higher potential now for failing. If we see the buyers come back up here again, we'll be looking for it. In fact, here we can even turn on cumulative volume delta to get an idea of within this range, is there more buying and selling? And here's our answer. This blue line here, light blue line, there's more selling. So likely we'll see if like sellers can try to reach back down here again, and where they broke out from here. Now they're not, and we're getting our buyers up here. So we actually are looking for the breakout now. I know that it happened kind of late, but this is very, very typical within these ranges here. Very typical. All right, so it's kind of a tough read in here. We're looking at the cumulative volume delta. We're trying to assess and determine the volume in here. And a lot of times what you'll see is you got to get some people on the hook, and then you can get the stop run to the upside here, which can kick off this move to the upside. So far we just see it did that, but it's right back down again here. All right, so yeah, is it going to establish a new trading range in here? Looks like it so far. I don't see a lot of sellers here yet, so we can even come back up here at 23.25 and go higher. Okay, so let's go and edit this here. This is just driving me nuts. It should be 3 and solid. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, yep, looks like they're going to try one more time here. Let's see. And we'll be looking for the top of the range here, just the top of the range for right now. Now, we're flying blind here. We're just looking at volume and market structure. But we want to look at the heat map in here. What about the other side of the trade? Well, now we're seeing a lot more. Look at all of this liquidity up here. We're seeing that buyers aren't really interested in going after it here, and we're right back down again. Okay, so this context, it gives us so much more information here of understanding the other side of the trade. We can see that it came in with high liquidity here, and in here they pulled. So it's not really that convincing still. Yet again, it's just not that convincing yet that we will see this move to the upside. All right, so let's see if we may come back down below 45.20 and we get sellers in there. They're going to push it back down to probably here where they kind of broke out from a bit, and maybe a bit lower here. And you can start to line that up also with your high volume nodes in your profiles in here. Okay, so we need to see sellers though come in here. We need to see something in the order book that will outline a higher probability for that scenario to unfold. And right now you can see it's not doing it. It's not doing that. We're not seeing that. In fact, looks like it's kind of clear sailing for the buyers if they want to try to reach back up to 24 here. All right, let's see if they can. Let's see if we get our move here. Now, in the order book, we also want insight from the order book. We want to see them maybe lift the bid up higher. There we go, a little bit more, and the reaction to it. All right, so let's see if we can get our buyers up to here and reach this liquidity. Okay, again, I don't like it very much. It's kind of dark in here, so it can kind of bash around within this area because there's not a whole lot of liquidity. All right, so this is reading kind of higher probabilities for these events and understanding when something looks really good compared to when it just doesn't look quite as good. All right, so yeah, we can see sellers are starting to come back in and fill these little voids in here, or try to reach this liquidity down in here. Yeah, Doug, get your questions. That's right. Good morning, David. All right, so anyway, so we've been kind of looking at and understanding this line here and the buying and selling above and below it here. Okay, we just made a lower high here. Okay, well, what about we actually look at cumulative volume delta? There's more selling in here. All right, sellers, then you should be able to drop it, and we'd be looking for the drop down to here, 17. There's liquidity here, and there's also a high volume node here. So that makes good sense. Okay, so let's see if we get the sellers who come in here. Looks good so far. Come on, sellers, should be able to hit it. Okay, big iceberg buying in here. So this is getting convoluted in here. A lot of buying in here, but there's some icebergs just transacting right in there. Okay, both buying and selling. So, even the larger players in here, they're kind of battling around this line here. And I think what can be really helpful in understanding these areas in here is, it's like, oh, well, I was looking for it to drop, and it should drop. And then something happened in here that kind of changed, and we might have been committed. And this is not a trade recommendation, but we might have been committed in this and looking for this scenario to play out, and then this weird action happens in here and convolutes the whole scenario. And there's different ways of dealing with that. Get out. or reduce your risk, because we don't know. And it's not that there's no kind of like I think a lot of us, like, we have a tendency to think like, oh, then now they're going to do this here. Well, the bigger picture is the market doesn't care. These other players in here are trying to figure it out too. So we don't know, they don't know, they're battling. That's what's happening, and we're just kind of sitting back and trying to figure it out here. Who's going to win the battle? And I think it's just a much healthier way to kind of look at these areas in here and assess them, and be easy on ourselves, not beat up on ourselves about some of these players coming in and doing this. Like we've been talking about in here, how we get different tests in the market from players. You'll see like high liquidity come in here, and they kind of test it. Is like, is there a buying pressure that wants that liquidity on the offer? What's the reaction by traders, the aggressors in here? It gives a lot of insight here. And if we had like deeper pockets, we'd be doing this all the time, kind of testing and assessing, looking for higher probability. All right, so I think we can look at that, or have that kind of outlook. I think is a lot healthier than just getting all upset that now something happened in here, icebergs and some volatility, some larger trading in here, high liquidity that pops in here, etc. And now we don't know. Whereas in here, we're looking for our sellers. Especially in here, it looks great, and then everything kind of changed in here. Does that make sense? Do you guys, I mean, can you understand that? And if you do see this kind of thing in here, I mean, now you're getting the insight to it. Whereas like if you're trading your candlestick patterns or candlestick charts, you don't know that, wow, this just happened. Icebergs came in, and it's significant icebergs in here too. Both buying and selling on both sides here. So it's really back and forth in here. All right, so anyway, I hope that was helpful for you. And let's see here, we got a few questions in here in YouTube, so hold on a minute. The red area in the heat map in the middle then drops because there's orders in the book, they were consumed. Well, this area in here, this is a very good question. It's a very simple question, but we don't see any transactions within any of this liquidity in here. The transactions are right in the middle here, but we do see kind of a flip of the order book here. Now we don't know if these are the same players, but they were on the offer here, and now they're on the bid. And they even added more into the order book here on the bid, right? What was the reaction to this? This is a microcosm of what we're just talking about. Understanding, wow, okay, well, we actually found some buyers in here. All right, so now if we find some more buyers in here, up here at this area here, we should get a move higher, back up to our line here around 45.20. That's what we'd be looking for. Okay, and that happened, pretty quickly, pretty nicely there. Right? It was because of this here. It was this that made the market move. That's pretty good insight. That's pretty amazing. And now this liquidity never even transacted, but did it have an effect on the market? Absolutely. Absolutely. Orders have an effect on the market. Did it make price move? Well, it technically, limit orders can't make price move. But they can kind of suggest to move the market, and we see the reaction is it's the aggressors, these dots, the market buy and sell orders that actually move the market. Okay, the limit orders can stop the market from moving by absorbing. All right, so this kind of insight and gives us a lot. And we can start to understand, okay, well, now we're starting to find buyers away from that area, and we'd be looking for maybe some of these areas to test up here. And it came up into this previous area of high liquidity here. at 22. Oh, we're getting a breakout here. Okay, sorry to miss that. All right, I'm looking for continuation on up to 30, basically. Okay, we're getting up into some of these highs here, so it looks like they're going to try to go for some of these highs up here. Yeah, this is strong buying, looking for continuation here. This is the kind of buying we're looking for that moves the market, like bigger moves in the market. Okay, strong buying, strong moves as well. This moved pretty nicely from here around 22 on up to about 28, right? So that's that's 6 points, and it's strong volume. So we're looking there to the way we talk about this is we're looking for them to continue to move it away. There's our 40, 45, 30, and we're still looking for more. This is strong. We're looking for 45, 35, maybe 40, maybe 50. Okay, all the liquidity up in these areas here. Okay, so this is precisely what we look for. Okay, they're moving it away from this whole area here, this whole value area here. Look at the distribution in your volume profile. Okay, so yeah, this is precisely what we look for. All right, so looking for this to continue. All right, now we're going to get pullbacks in here. It's not going to be all that easy, but and I'll pose the question here. What do you guys think in terms of pullbacks? Okay, we covered this one quite a bit. Where do you think they might pull back to, and why? If we're looking for a pullback here, so and this can help with your trade management for even scaling in to a position. $25, $26, $27. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a little bit, I was kind of thinking, well, the first one would be here. It's already done it. The big transaction right here. Okay. And we don't, they're selling in here and they're already moving it. So, we're looking for a 35 level here already. So this is a very shallow pullback. And the reason we're looking at here is the transaction into this liquidity here. Okay, look at your volume dots. Talk to Dove. Dove is in these webinars. One of his strategies, he looks for pullbacks to these big volume dots in the transactions. It makes perfect sense. This is like a high volume node. Okay, it's basically on a smaller time frame. It's a high volume node. Makes sense. Buyers should support it here. Sellers came in. There's more buyers back up above it, looking for the continuation. Okay, here again, look at the pullback to here. It's already doing it. Okay, now we're looking for buyers here. Okay, are they going to support it? Let's see. And we're below it already. Okay, let's see if we get back up here and get buyers. We should, and they should be able to take it to 33.5 and maybe 35 here. Would love to see the book support it. I mean, they are supporting it underneath here, but they're down here at 45.30. Okay, we're not getting them. We were looking for them. We're not getting. We didn't have anything in the order book here. We're coming back down to 45.30. Okay, still looking for buyers in here though. Okay, they're pulling on the bid. We don't want to see that. This is not good news. Okay, let's see if they maybe we can get kind of just a quick move below here and then a move back up. Okay, maybe down to here, maybe the top of this range here. This will be a low volume node, and it is. You can see it here. All right, let's see if we get our buyers now. No, not yet. Okay, they come all the way back down here to 27.5. Okay, looking for them again, and especially above here, 28.5. All right, we should get them, and we're looking for back to 30 and then maybe 31. They should show up here. Let's see it. And we should get a quick move up here too. Come on, buyers, where are you? No, no, not seeing it. Yeah, there we are. There they are. Okay. Yeah, that was kind of quick. Still looking for continuation. 31. All right. Anyway, we already pulled back to what you asked. Okay, so it went lower. Um, yeah, I mean the shallow. I mean the pullbacks. Reading the pullbacks in here. You know, now this is even this here. If we look at this in kind of the bigger context, yeah, it broke here, it made a lower low in this case. I mean, this is kind of unsustainable trend here. Pretty that strong move we talked about. Um, but we're still bullish here. I mean, look at all of this buying in here. So we can pull back to here, like you guys were saying, 25, 26 area here. Looks pretty good, and you can still be bullish here. Okay, we can even pull back down to here and still be bullish. Okay, back down to 22, where they really shot up here. All right, still bullish here, looking for excuses in the order book and volume and structure here to move to the upside here. Okay, not a trade recommendation here. Okay, not financial advice. Order flow, reading the order flow. Yeah, and just we're looking for them. We just don't see anything yet. In fact, nothing here at all. We're just in this kind of range, and it's dark in here. The buyers are down here around 27. Sellers are up here at 31. We're looking for that continuation here. We almost got to 31, just one tick away. You know, something J Trader always mentions is like we're looking for this to work. It should work. If it doesn't, cut your loss. Learn how to cut your losses quickly. In fact, you can implement a trade management strategy of front running this high liquidity here, get out some and then hold, move your stop to break even, and get out. Okay, you'd be stopped out at break even already. Okay, maybe you got in here someplace, or in here someplace. If you let's say you got in here, well, a way of possibly managing this is to take your partial profit. It's not much, but we're just going to go through this scenario here. Take your partial profit up here. That'd be 1.5 or so, right? And then you could also have your stop at break even here. You get stopped out here, or you can also move it down 1.5, and you got stopped out maybe here, or certainly down here, and you made nothing on this, but you maybe made a tick on it, depending on how you manage it. So you gave it a shot to run, and it didn't work out. Okay, look for the next one. Good morning, Tom. All right. Sorry, guys, I've been rambling here. Let's get to some of these questions in here. SVP over here, the way I've got it configured is it's basically default, but you can take a look at it here. I've got just bars and numbers here. That's it. Okay, I have it. You can split it out though. I mean, there's some really nice features in here. To split it out, you can also look at delta, buy minus sell instead of the composite. Right. So this is the delta here. What was it? I forget who was looking at the delta last week in the Pro Trader webinars and using it heavily. Maybe it was Brent. Brent Kachuba from Spot Gamma. I can't recall. It's a really nice feature. You can have two columns in here if you want. One that's the composite and one that's the delta. So just right click in here, insert a new one, right click again, configure, put the delta on. So you can see like in this area here, like a lot of buying. Here's where the sellers are down here. So maybe you look for a bounce now here because this is where the sellers are. They can't take it lower, so looking for our buyers. You know, and the buyers are, you can see control in here. See how they're in control up here? And since it traded up here and we see buyers up here, this is highly likely for a target is 31. There's not a whole lot of buying back up above it. So, you know, a move back to 30 and this high volume node here in the delta, that's not bad, right? Or maybe you can come up a little higher and trade into that volume up here. And there's liquidity there. So, you know, that could be a good little target there. And here they go. So this should be kind of like a little bull flag here. Not much of a buying here, but there is buying up here. Okay, they got it. One more retracement back up here, and we're looking for a break of 30 up into 31. Okay, let's see it, buyers. There's some, so it's auctioning, looking for it then. Okay, do you guys understand that? Like, this is really a kind of a key here, and this is right in line with our education, our educational course. Okay, it's auctioning up here. There's buyers up here. Now, true, anything can happen. Sellers might come in down here and pull it away, and these guys are trapped, and move it right back down to the bottom of the range. However, are they selling down here? Yeah, a little bit. It's not bad. So it's kind of back and forth in here, and sellers could have taken it down. Okay, beautiful move there. There's our 31 finally. It had to rotate again, and there are sellers down here. It could have, and it's kind of clear sailing for those sellers here. They didn't show. It's actually this is kind of a more complex. We want to see exhaustion here. This is more complex in the sense that it is auctioning down here too. And there's not much in the order book. So sellers could have taken it down to here. If we can rotate back up though and get buyers in here again up at some of these levels, we're looking for them to push it. Okay, so that's the concept here, and that concept matches very nicely in this you know, in a breakout here. It also matches very nicely in your volume profile strategies of like, here's a chart range volume profile, and would love to see a P-shaped profile up here. We're not really seeing it because of the selling down here, but if we moved in a little bit more, we can make it a P-shape. Yeah, something like that, right? And so what we're saying is this is like a weak top, and you know, these kinds of terms, technically that's what, you know, people are using for the terminology. But the concept here is very simple. It's auctioning up here. There's buyers up here. So we can have more buyers up here. We can get price exploration to the upside to other areas and complete this auction. It's really not complete up here. There's lots of buyers in here. When an auction is complete, you get this kind of finished edge, meaning it climbed up to this area and it didn't really find any more buyers. It tried, couldn't find them. That's when you're going to get your responsive sellers come in, and they're going to trade it right back down to the value area or the most traded levels. So it's a very simple concept here that we're talking about. It's auction market theory, it's volume profile, but it's just the markets in general. If we can get buyers up here, they can explore higher. It would have been lovely to see some exhaustion here on the sell side, but we should see a stop run here because these guys are going to have to bail, and we do. We see a little stop run here and a little stop run there, but the concept is very, very simple. That you know, people are kind of interested in higher prices. And it's showing it right here. Okay, so you know, just understand the concept behind it. Don't have to worry about being so exact with the terminology. I mean, yeah, we want to use the right terminology. Let me back up on that. But the point is the concept is the most important part here. in the order flow. Understanding that is going to be golden for anything moving forward. Okay, so for example, we could look at candlestick patterns in here, or we talked about a bull flag in here. Well, it completed. My God, are we missing this big move to the upside? Okay, we're up at 35. We're still looking. I mean, this was the overall move anyway that we talked about. Strong volume. We're looking for 40 up here. We're looking for 45, 50, 55. Bigger picture here, guys, is this is strong. Right? Look at that move away. Okay, even the pullback is in this move here. The pullback's kind of shallow. It could have come down to here and bounced off the top of this here. It didn't. Right? It's a stronger move. So you typically get shallower pullbacks here. Okay, in this case, when we were zoomed in here and looking for the pullback to here, went below it, it came back down to the next one in here. Could have come back down even here and still been bullish. It could have been even where it initiated, like we discussed. Right? So again, understanding like this auction here and the strength in it. All right, so let me get caught up here with some of these questions. No, snuffle platypus. Yeah, no, it's okay. Like it's good to go over these things. It's an order flow room in here during these sessions, except for the live trading with Scott and live analysis. That's really the key here, because if we can demo these concepts and then watch them play out, like it really kind of legitimizes the concepts, right? And the beauty of it here in Bookmap is that it's just all visualized here. So we're not making this stuff up. It traded. We know this is strong. We're looking for it to continue. Okay, so and the kind of these micro little areas in here, we can talk about what we're looking for and how to understand like how we can get the move to the upside here due to the way it's auctioning in here, the transactions, the order book in here, what's the reaction to liquidity, etc. Alex, still lower volume pullback. Yeah, that was a nice nice call there. Tom, I don't know what you mean there. MOB on Delta. And let me jump over to YouTube here. Sorry, guys. I'm getting there. Yeah, the bigger players are typically, we'll see they use a lot of limit orders. They want to get filled at certain areas and not have price move against them. Or have to chase and then get caught on the wrong side basically. So Jared, I think I answered your question there on the understanding if the liquidity was consumed or not. This is again the answer up here. Yes, here it's trading right into it. So yeah, it's consumed. So when you see the transactions into it here, look at all those transactions. Okay, beautiful stuff. No question, it is transacting. Yeah, and the larger players, they're well, they're using a lot of them are using the algos, but the and HFT, like, yeah, yes and no. I mean, they're using stat arbitrage and looking for an edge, and when that edge presents, they take it. God, this is a beautiful pullback, guys. Here, a lot of selling in here actually. So we can kind of look at the dots, look at the bars, and the pullback was here. Now and this breakout was from this area here was a little bit slighter. But you know, still we're still bullish here, and we're still looking for this to climb higher. Okay, it's just starting to slow down a little bit, and we're noting that. All right, yeah, that was what was I going to say about these the larger players. A lot of times, like well, we see their intentions hidden with the icebergs for sure. We saw a great example yesterday. You know, beautiful example. Yeah, if the color in the heat map is up here, red and orange, very high liquidity, then yellow is less. In fact, I want to demo a new product that we have. It's free, and it'll show this, you know, as well. Is this liquidity marker? I'll show you that. Well, Noel, what we want to understand is, you know, the longer term high liquidity like this is typically a magnet for price. Buyers know they can meet sellers up here, and this is exactly where they're going. But we need to look at and understand the context of the not only the liquidity on the offer here, but we want to also understand the buyers here. Okay, the aggressors, they're going after it. So yeah, we're looking for it to continue. And now in shorter time frames, smaller time frames, we want to understand this kind of liquidity in here that pops into the book, very high liquidity. And what's the reaction to that? You know, what do buyers and sellers think of that? So you can see how they're testing it here. Look how they're coming in here, high liquidity up here at 39.25. Okay, starting to sell off a little bit. Okay, so we're getting kind of a feel for the market and the auction here, right? More on the offer, sellers coming down. They're going to trade into this liquidity down here. Okay, now down here, let's see if we get buyers. Okay, and we can look at different, like a low volume pullback strategy here. This is one of them right here, right into this area here. See the where it broke out from, and the cluster of buy volume in here. Okay, so let's see, do we get buyers in here? And let's read this small auction in here. No, we don't want to see that. We want to see buyers up here. Okay, we're getting a little bit here, not much though. There's more selling in here, so likely they'll try to drop it a little bit lower here. Okay, there's some exhaustion. See the exhaustion there? There's no selling here. Okay, there's a little bit. All right, so they might be able to drop it a little bit lower here. Okay, there's more selling here. All right, there we go. Okay, so now what we want to do is we reverse back up. We're looking for buyers, right, for a continuation. So we're looking for buyers up here. Here we go. Now they should be able to move it. Okay, understood? Understood, like in this micro range here. Now we're right back down. Okay, we'd be looking for them to support it though, and they're not. All right, so a little bit back and forth in here right now. Okay, but it did what we were looking for here. And this is where you have to look at your kind of bigger picture. It came back up into where it dropped from up here and tested it. Okay, so we're reading this auction in here. It's really simple. I mean, this is so much simpler. You know, a lot of traders come in and they look at Bookmap and go, God, this is going to take out, you know, months and several hours and hours to kind of figure out. Not really. Educational course like just is very simple and straightforward. It's understanding. Look at the exhaustion down here. Okay, well, do we get buyers up here? Yeah. All right, they should be able to push it. Okay, now let's see if they can break it up here and get into this liquidity up here at 39 and our 40 level, right? We wanted to trade up to 40. Okay, this is a really good example here, I think. So we're back and forth in here. We found some buyers up here. look at the sellers in here. Sellers here, yes. Some in here, okay, and there was a few selling down here, but not many. And this goes into that concept of that finished edge that people talk about in volume profile. It doesn't matter, what you want, how you want to call it. Are there sellers down here? Not many. Does the market want to trade down here? Not much. Okay, it goes back into where it can trade and transact, and it's in this area here, in this micro range in here. This is the most trading level here, and you can see it in the profile. Okay, what about up in here? What do we see? Well, yeah, we see more buyers up in here, up in these areas here. Now we come back down, retest this area here, and we're not even talking about the order book right now. That's a whole nother level of context to add in here. But we're just talking about the structure. And in fact, let's take the order book off for now. We're just talking about structure and volume within the structure. That's it. Okay, well, we trade down here, a little bit of selling here. There was previously some selling here. Okay. If they really pick it up, they can drive it lower, but they didn't. It came down here several times, and we didn't get any. This is exhaustion. We didn't get any selling down here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tests in here. Okay, or even more than that. The bid came down here a ton of times. Only these 5 transacted here. That's it. Okay, a lot transacted up here, the most. Now we're looking to see if we can get buyers up here, and especially up in here, up in this area here. Right, so do we get them up here? Yeah, a little bit. Do we get more up here? It's looking good. We didn't get any selling down here. Do we get buyers here? Yes, I can see them right there. We should get a move back up to top of the range and maybe a breakout of the range. Okay, pull back and back up. More buyers here. We should break it. Here we're looking for the move. Didn't do it. Came back. Even here, didn't do it. I mean, it came back up to the top of this range here at 39. Right? So, you can use this in so many different ways for your trading here. You can manage your risk within these ranges here. Now we're starting to see the sellers are coming in now. And we could have read that too. Down here we get our sellers. Yeah, we're getting a big cluster of selling. Yeah, we'd be looking for them to try to drop it. Okay, I thought up here we have enough buying up here to get back up, not only to just 39, but a tick or whatever, up into 40 here or higher. And we do have some buying in here, and we do have some exhaustion in here. This one failed. Should have had enough buying up here to break it. We didn't, and the sellers come in here. Okay, and now they're breaking the range. They sell here and they sell here though, as well, and they're able to take it down lower. Okay, but look at that selling in here though too. It's not a whole lot. That's how you can get our low volume pullbacks in these areas here. Okay, because there's not a whole lot of selling in here. And now the selling really picks up down here. Okay, and then this is how we get these moves and these kind of under over lines right here. Another one's up here. All right, let's turn the heat map back on. Okay, so I hope that answers some questions there, knick-knack. So yeah, the color change means the order's changed. Absolutely. In fact, you can use this hover tool or data tip tool, and it tells you how much liquidity is on the ask here, for example, as you scroll back, and you can look at like this red area, 348, this yellow area here is 212. Okay, we talked about that. Liquidity as a magnet. What are my volume dot settings here? We'll go quickly over that. Here they are. I'm using volume delta. And some of the smart, very little of the smart clustering here. How can you differentiate between profit taking and real selling? Well, typically that's your low volume pullback. There's still just, they're not really necessarily selling to initiate positions. It's more like just kind of people exiting the market, and it it kind of pulls back a bit. I mean, that's one way to take a look at it. Arian, yes, there's a new feature that is allows you to open. I have to get I have to update you guys on it, that you can open now the same symbol twice. And it's an add-on right now. It will be integrated into the core Bookmap download, but right now it's not. Okay, so it's something that we'll go over. Oh, great! Nice to hear you're learning a ton. Noel, I really encourage you to go watch that educational course, part 1. And if you're a Bookmap subscriber, you'll get part 1s through 4 that you have access to. We've been just reviewing it basically here, but like I said, this applies to any trading strategy. We can look at candlesticks in here. So heavy selling now. See, this is not profit taking, right? Understand that? So this is new selling coming in, and we have icebergs on the other side. But new selling, we look for them to trade it back down to here, and where these buyers initiated, and see if they can get even below it here. But yeah, down to 32 here, a good one, good move to 32, and we've already tested this area here, okay, once, or this area here once. This is where sellers can now drive it even lower, try to get down to 30. Strong selling, and this small time frame is pretty strong selling. So we're looking for the move down to 30. Okay, so yeah, who took control in this move here, and where did it really start? Where do you identify that? Okay, Timo, you're a new user, but you like it. Yep, sounds good. I'm learning a lot. The magnet's still up here, Brown. So yeah, we're still looking for this. I mean, we'll zoom out here and get a bigger picture, kind of understanding of what's going on. But this is still a magnet up here. The educational course is online. You part 1 at least you can see. We're going to make public, I think, parts 1 through 4. So yeah, it doesn't matter if you have TOS, Bookmap on TOS, or Thinkorswim or not. So but go through part 1 for sure. That's free and open to all right now. All right, sorry guys on in Discord. We got this going on Discord. If you want to join the chat over on Discord as well, it's we're over here. Oh, Moby did a webinar on Delta. Got you, Tom. Okay. Yeah, it was. That's right. It was Moby using that tool. That's what it was exactly. Yeah, sorry, a little slow today. I've had plenty of coffee, but I'm still slow. I don't know why. Current build I'm using is the the latest one, I think build 24 or something like that. 7.3 is what I'm using. You will need that. You'll need to download and install that for this liquidity marker, which I'll go over. Okay, Doug's. Let's take a look at SPY here quickly. Doug was some minutes ago talking about SPY and some options in here. And why I want to cover this is not only because we get lots of good insight. We had Doug came up with some really nice correlations in a couple days ago in one of the webinars, and we saw it play out really nicely. Maybe it was it yesterday when we had correlations, and we also had the icebergs. Could have been. So here's what Doug is looking at here. We'll take a look at SPY in just a second here. Yeah, the drawing functionalities, there are some things that we can go over and definitely improve on, no question about that. But there's a few things you might find helpful. Like for example, here you click on the drawing tools, and if you do single figure mode, that means when I draw one trend line here, okay, or whatever it is, it'll immediately go back into regular mode here, right? So yeah, in fact, we can see that we're back up here and we're breaking that trend line, but you see how we need to get here, kind of above our 34 area here. Let's take a look at SPY. Doug was just saying that they started selling a lot of calls and buying puts. Okay, so there's an edge right there, guys. SPY, look at the selling down here, nice cluster. Now, I posed the question, where did the who took control and where? Yeah, I mean, we could say, but kind of back up into this kind of area here, but really, I mean, it really kind of hits you over the head. They took control here, 35 and a quarter, somewhere around there. Okay, thanks, Doug. So you got your SPY in there. Yeah, 30. I mean, this is nice too. This 33 3/4 is true, but they really came in here and started driving it. That we saw this, and it was down here, so we were looking into. I think the next move was, or no, I'm sorry, maybe we saw this drive and we were looking for 30. Yeah, something like that, and we're still looking for it. I mean, and Doug is has a real nice correlation here, like in the SPY. Yeah, I'm looking for them definitely to trade back down here. Look at that cluster of selling down here. I want to see them trade right back down into this kind of 40 or 452.15 or so. Okay, there's a quick move to the upside. Now let's see if we can get under over here. There we go. Let's look for these sellers here. Looking for them. Let's see if they show up. A lot of liquidity just popped in here. Okay, let's see it, sellers. They should be able to hit it. Okay, we're already at 15. If we get enough selling in here, and I don't see it right now, but they can really upend these buyers in here. If we get enough selling in here, we should get the move lower. This should be a nice move lower too, guys. Should be, because we have buyers in here, but they're on their back foot right here. There we go. Let's see it, sellers. Come on, they should be able to hit this hard and knock some, get these stops triggered and get a nice move, maybe back down into, I don't know, 41 or 451.80 or so, maybe 60. Should be nice. And what just happened here? I had some data. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, our nice move is panning out. That's what we're looking for. I just had a little bit of data loss there. But yeah, continuation. Maybe we can get down to 50. Nice one, Doug. Nice, beautiful correlation, Doug. Just love it. Yeah, here we go. Here they come. All right, so now we should see, now we talked about profit taking. We should get a bounce here. Okay, this is where they kind of initiated. We see this cluster in here. We see some liquidity in here. All right, well, let's see. Let's see if we can get, just maybe you just see some buying come in here, but kind of a low volume pullback and move back to, well, it already kind of did one already right here. It already did it. The next one would be maybe a little bit higher here, this level here, or the next one would be up here where it kind of initiated from. Something like that. Okay, so far you can see it's testing this area here again. Okay, let's see. I think I'm all caught up. Okay. Oh, you got the okay, the RTH VWAP up there, Alec. Is right around where we are. Okay. Yeah. So here's our pullback. Now this was anticipated, right? Okay, it makes sense. Strong move into liquidity here. We're going to get some profit taking. We're going to see some buying maybe start to come in a little bit, and so far it's clearly a low volume pullback. Clearly. Okay, look at all that strong selling, and then look at the buying in here. Look at the dots. Okay, so we start to look for in the auction. We're looking for maybe sellers to start to come in after we pull back to some of these areas here. This is looking pretty good here too. 28.5. Here we're already getting some sellers. All right, do they auction down here again? Yeah, they're starting to. All right, they should be able to drop it. And this is where the order book, you see how they're kind of testing that. This is where the order book context comes in. They're adding more in here, and it kind of repels those sellers. Now, if they pull, look out, and they maybe add on the offer here. Look out. It should drop. See how it kind of buoys the market here. They start to show in the order book here, and it kind of goes back up. Here we go. All right, so yeah, it's still having an effect here. This 26 area here is still having an effect. Here we go. This is what we're looking for. See how they kind of pulled here and they added on the offer, and we got our sellers. Now looking for the sellers to try to drive it down into maybe 25 here. This liquidity. Okay, let's see. Sellers, and should be able to do it. Let's see it. Now they're still reacting to this order book in here. Still reacting to it. See the reaction to it? But this is like really another crucial element here to understand in the order flow. The reaction to this liquidity here, not that longer term liquidity that someone was asking about, like at 40 and 50. Instead, what we're talking about in here is this kind of testing and nudging the market back and forth in here, trying to understand demand and supply and reactions to it. Here's some exhaustion here now, but they're back in the book. Okay, so that's not really what we're looking for. Okay, so it auctioned up here. Okay, are we getting sellers here though too? So we got exhaustion here. So we should, if we get more buyers in here, we got the potential now for a break up into 30. Now it's starting to auction back down here, and they have clear sailing down to 26 sellers. All right, there's exhaustion. No, now this, look, trying to read this in here, it can be challenging. Like, we're seeing it kind of back and forth in here. It's still auctioning back up here. Okay, we got some sellers in here. We got a little bit more. We got exhaustion there. A little more selling. All right, they should be able to drop it lower here. Let's see. Okay, looking for the move back down to here at 25, and then yeah, 25. There we go. Okay, understood. What does that make sense to you guys? Does it make reading the auction in here, does that make sense, and try to understand this? And you can make a trading plan revolve around that understanding, and it doesn't have to be on these small time frames like this. Okay, you made some money today, Alec. Yeah. I mean, it really, like this move here to the downside, and understanding this, see how it's stronger. There's stronger volume in here. We got a pullback and stronger sell volume again. We were looking at the strong buy volume in here, and we're looking for this 40 level. We saw this start to come in. We were looking for 25, 30, 35, 40. Okay, take a look at it now. Now we got a lot of insight from Doug on this about the options in SPY. Okay, we're back down to our 20 level here that we initiated this whole webinar around this this pivot line here. Okay, and now we're below it. Okay, so, and we have liquidity here at 15 and strong selling. All right, let's see them trade it back down to 15. Boy, there's so much to go over. We've kind of barely scratched the surface on a lot of things. We didn't even look at our higher time frames here. Our daily chart on the left here, a move above it here, a wick already. Still bullish on this daily. Also on the hourly, still bullish. Strong candles here. Move back up above a range, testing the bottom of this range now. Now, if the sellers can drop it into this area here below this 45.12, great. They should be able to bring it down to 4,500, maybe lower. Okay, back into the range. So 15-minute chart over here on the right. Okay, look at the wicks down here. Okay, and we had a gap as well. Due to the wicks in here and the strong move up, I would look for a pullback here around this 12 level, 12, 13 level. Maybe a little bit lower, maybe just get down below it here, 9 or so. And then, we know there's buyers in here due to the wicks. Okay, so we would look for, I mean, this is a strong sell bar on this 15-minute though. Okay, so maybe it will just continue on down, but I'd be looking for a few buyers in here, and maybe it just lifts back up to about here. Okay, so we're outlining the same ideas here on the candlestick chart. I'd be looking for maybe the move back up here, yeah, maybe we can continue on down here to this level as a pullback, right? So that pullback strategy we talked about, we're going through the same ideas here on the candlestick chart. So here we go. Okay, back down to 10. Okay, lows for the day. Strong selling, strong selling coming in. Okay, so we're kind of at that 9, 10 level, and we're looking for, some buyers to start to come in a bit. We're not looking for a huge move, just looking for a pullback here. So let's read it. Okay, there's that. And then there's this here as well, our level here. Okay, above that area. Do we get buyers back up? Nope, not yet. Yep, sellers continue. Okay, down at 09, hit 09, that liquidity there at 09. Okay, below it as well, 07. Okay, it's still exploring lower here. Here we go. Okay, buyers, let's see if we get some here at, and they should be able to bring it right back up to 10, maybe even 11 here. Okay, reading the auction here, not many. Here we go though. We're back up again. We have exhaustion here on the sell side. Okay, so no, not yet. One more here, one more. Let's see if we get buyers back up here. No, sellers still here, so they still can push it lower here. Sellers still here. Exhaustion here, but there's still sellers. Okay, now a little bit of both buying and selling. Okay, buyers come in. Should be able to lift it a little bit, just a little bit. There we go. Now let's see them lift it higher here, back up to maybe 10. They're pulling up here at 10. They can get up to 11 maybe, or 10 and a quarter. Okay, well, we got up to that 10 and a quarter. Okay, now reading this in here, no different again than looking at head and shoulders on a higher time frame, or starting to understand, you know, a potential reversal. Now this in the bigger picture, this is just a pullback. Okay, maybe it turns into reversal, but we're just looking for a pullback. You're kidding us here, Alec, right? Yogi TY, ask Doug. He's the hero expert with Bookmap. Yeah, come to the webinar today, 4:30. Get your questions ready. I mean, this is a great opportunity. He's really interesting, and it's what's I love so much about Doug's strategy is it's totally new. He's using these new tools. That's an edge, and that's exciting. You know, these new tools in from Hero, from Spot Gamma. Yeah, you'll see it. I'll have it front and center on YouTube page here shortly as well. But you guys, you should see it in the chat and everything. Yeah, and don't forget, in about 15 minutes here, we'll have Tom B. All right, guys. So look at the buyers come in now, right? We're just still it's a pullback. It's a pullback. Okay, but it's pretty strong buying. Okay, so we're looking for maybe a deeper pullback. Right? Look at the buying. Look at that context in here in this buying. Not bad. So let's see if we can come back up into where would you guys think, based on what we've been talking about? Now there's a range. We're actually hitting the first one right here. 30 would be a huge pullback. I mean, that would be asking for a lot. Oh, 20. Alan, you say 30. You guys are saying 15, 16, 20, somewhere around there. Yeah, I mean, I really like this one here. Look at the order book here. You can see there's transactions here, and sellers dropped it. They traded through that area. So I really like 15. The liquidity's up here higher. They're up here at 16. Now, again, talking about, now this is shorter time frame liquidity, but it's high liquidity. And this is advertising here, saying like, you know, and you can see how a lot of times, like, look at the buying that came in after this level came in, makes me, you know, not suspicious, but just kind of think larger players maybe they'll be putting in their liquidity, getting in the order book, in the queue up here, and then now start to drive price. Okay, they want to be sellers up here. How do you get, this is where we have great webinars with Scott Pulcini. He says, like, guys, I did this. I put my target up here. I start to get them to buy to reach my target because I want to either cover up here or I want to be a seller up here. I mean, we have someone who did that, like, and they were trading like thousands of S&P contracts. They had the power to be able to do that. It's just unbelievable. 10% of the S&P E-mini volume is what he used to trade daily. Yeah, good stuff, guys, on these pullbacks, etc. Now that you're noticing some of these areas for these pullbacks in here, but then we want to look at the order flow. Okay, not only to drive it to those areas and that the higher probability move to those areas, but also what it looks like when it gets to those areas. What's the order flow look like? Yeah, we have. Oh, okay. No, yeah, the Doug's webinar is a half hour after the close, 4:30 East Coast time. All right, here we're getting an answer here as well. There's a question about this. Here's high liquidity here. These are buyers here. Okay, the transaction took place. Sellers took these guys on a big red dot into red liquidity, high liquidity here. Now that's the event to take a look at. This was a pretty big event. Now what's the order flow after that event? Well, we have more sellers down below here still. Okay, so maybe our pullback is complete and we're looking for sellers to come right back in now and drive this lower now. Okay, back down into lows of the day here, and they're doing it so far. All right, guys, I think I'm caught up on the questions there and comments in Discord. Let's go back into YouTube here. Yep, Brown 45.17. Yep, I like it. Up in here, this well, I think it's what, 16 and a half. Liquidity marker. Sorry, Jeffrey. Yes. Yep, we'll get to it. All right, guys. Let me jump into it here. There's a lot of nuances, Jared, but the concepts are pretty simple and straightforward here to go over. Very, very, and this is where, like, years ago we were using kind of using Alan as the poster boy here of how to kind of simplify this and look for higher probability moves again and again, and the way to do that is just to look for really simple, straightforward moves to understand it. Okay, and then you can also start to trade around that. You can start to build a trading plan to look for those things and look for it again and again. Okay, so yeah, and you can't get greedy. You're looking for that play to work out or not, and that's it. It may do more, and you may kick yourself and go, God, why didn't I like hold on to this the rest of the day or whatever it might be. You can't do that. You're building confidence in your plan for this one event to unfold, and that's it. And then see it again and again and again, and that will build your confidence for sure. All right, let's go over this liquidity marker in here. It's new, it's free. Let me show you where you can find out more about it. First off, come up to help in Bookmap, and then go to user guide here. Okay, that'll take you to our knowledge base here. You guys should have gotten an email about it here, and then you can click on add-ons here. Okay, so it's in the add-on section, not the user guide section. And then all of the add-ons are over here on the left. Click on the one down here, liquidity marker. Okay, and this is where you can find out all about it in here, what it does. You can see it's showing the liquidity in here on right on the chart, plus minus, etc. And the over here on the right hand side, our kind of marks up the paragraphs in here. So how to install it or how to get it, etc. Click right here, or just scroll down, okay, to how to install it. Click here to download it. You will need to have Bookmap version 7.3 build 24 or newer. Okay, this is the newest one right now, is build 24. Okay, once you got it, there's a process here to go through to add it, and then there's all the different displays in here. There's FAQs down below here as well. Scroll through this and read about it here. Let me show it on the chart though. Okay, and we'll go over it in more detail another time. We got to kind of end the webinar here in a bit, but we'll go through it, Jeffrey, in more detail. We'll scroll down here. Here is liquidity marker. Click on it, select it here, and you can look at the different settings in here. Some really nice stuff in here to look at. Like you can see right now, this red text here, it's loading it. Okay, and it's probably too high or too low of a number in here, so it'd probably be a little easier on Bookmap if we 50 should be okay. Okay, so there's a display threshold in here. We can calculate it automatically as well. In fact, let's just try that. So 65, see how it boosted it up to 65? And we're looking at liquidity markers in here. Okay, so and zoom out, but it's still loading it. All right, so nice read again. Here is the event right here. Okay, we're not making this stuff up. Here is the event. Here's the sellers. Sellers below it, we're looking for continuation. We're getting it. Okay, looking for now the figure down here, 4,500. It's a nice spot gamma level 2 down here as well. Look at the edge that you guys got here from Doug. He pointed this out in SPY. And we were up here. And there was a lot of selling in here. And he noticed it in spot gamma, and he's looking for that move. Okay, beautiful correlation there. Beautiful correlation, guys, is just such a important an important thing to look at, because you're looking at meaningful markets to get more insight in terms of value. Yeah, you will need to restart Bookmap. Yep. Well, first off, Alan, you probably just need to go download build 24. Okay. Yeah, anyway, look, 141 added in here. Okay, very, very quickly now. This is the setting that we have in here, which means within 5 seconds, something was added. That's what we'd be looking for in here. Well, in 5 seconds here, definitely. Yeah, now we're down at seconds. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, sorry about that. So this is 11:25. Here's well, here's the 5-second mark would be in here somewhere. Okay, so within 5 seconds, like we had a boost in liquidity, 100 plus 141. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Beautiful work, programmers. All right, there's different ways of looking at this. We'll go over it in more detail, but different ways of looking at it. Like you don't have to look at, within the 5-second period or whatever. There are thresholds in here as well. It's 65 or greater. Don't show it if it's less than that. There's also max liquidity levels in here, really interesting one. So play around with that. I'll just cover that right now. It's here, we'll just scroll up a little bit here. Here, liquidity markers versus max levels here. Okay, so liquidity markers, this shows price levels on the heat map where the liquidity was significantly changed, X amount that you input or automatically input there using that automatic tool within a 5-second period. Okay, that's what liquidity marker shows. Liquidity max or max liquidity levels, this shows where largest liquidity is positioned. Okay, so if you toggle back and forth between those. All right, so yeah, play around with this, here's the looking at the display or the automatic setting in here, or automatic calculation. Right. Anyway, we'll go over it, I think, maybe next week in more detail. But you guys know where it is. You know how to download it and how to install it there. Let me put the link here into the chat for you. Okay, so here it is in Discord, and here it is in YouTube. Okay, Jeffrey, I hope that answers some of your questions. Okay, but definitely, download it and read through that area there, and also download that build 24 7.3. Okay, some really interesting stuff. Really starting to understand some of the changes in here. I mean, obviously you can look at the heat map, but to see like within 5 seconds these changes, and you're getting more into the nuances of price, or supply and demand, I should say. Like they added more in here, down here within 5 seconds, and they're still in there. You can see where they added it in, and we're getting some icebergs here. Okay, interesting stuff. Look, we're below the figure. We've covered this one a bunch of times. Here's the event. It's right at the figure. This can be your under over. Get a lot of people short here. We have tons of iceberg buying underneath, and the liquidity marker showing a little bit more liquidity in here. We're getting our buyers back up above it here. So all right, let's see them go for this 04 and 05 liquidity. Do they have enough buying pressure here? Okay, so far so good. Looking for them to continue. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. Thanks for coming, everybody. Have a great weekend. Look for Doug's webinar at 4:30 today, and then you'll already see, I believe Tom is probably already starting to display in the Discord chat. If you want to continue, jump over here to Discord. Okay, so in Tom B's room, he'll continue on with the S&P and go over a volume profile and order flow in detail. Okay, so great stuff over there. Check it out. Thanks, guys, for everything. Good week here. We saw some really good stuff, and we'll continue on Monday. Okay, thanks for coming.